What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B Hot Radio Shout in. Stepping in the building, I got an actor, a director, an artist. I mean, a full-fledged Renaissance man stepping off in this thing. Malcolm Mays, what's good with it, boss?
Man, chilling. Just glad to be here.
Hey, man, glad to have you in this thing, Mal. Now, I mean, before you got here, I had the opportunity to go through some of this music, man.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you and Baby got in that thing and went crazy, Mal.
Thank you.
Tell me how that banger came about, first of all.
Shit, honestly, and I want to be honest because I'm not a kind of nigga to cap on nothing like that. So
Yeah.
it was through people that we know on a outside of music kind of like, I know a personal friend of mine, personal friend of his, they linked up.
Yeah.
Some real shit. And then, the opportunity presented itself with a song produced by my boy Dun Deal.
Okay, then.
And his apprentice, Sir Poseidon, or his collaborator, they produced it. But at the time when we was cooking it up, I was just doing it. I just went there talking. I was here in Atlanta. I actually recorded a lot of the music here in Atlanta.
Okay, then.
Because I was locked in with Dun so much.
Yeah.
And we came up with the song, and we was both like vibing with it, and we went, who we hard on this? And it's like, little baby's like, can we get him? And I went through, my peoples knew his peoples, and
yeah.
And I don't mean business, like just like regular,
Exactly.
regular people not in the industry, and we politicked, and he gave me a fair situation. We went in there, we came in, did his shit, and it was he felt it. He asked me a few questions. We kind of vibed out. He gave me some. Said, I really respect your work. I really respect his. It was just like two people who really respect each other's business,
exactly,
and what they create. But the topic ended up being something that I think we both could relate to. So it was easy. It was like, and I easily believe I have easily the best verse from him in the past decade. Period. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
I feel like I probably got one of his best verses like ever.
Well, no, when I sat back listening to that song, first of all, it shocked the hell out of me. I didn't know you was going to be bringing it like that, okay, man?
Yeah.
Second of all, I was thinking to myself, okay, you got Baby in this thing, and you got the visual, so I said, okay, this is a hit. But then break down Street Journal Volume 1, the whole project, though, man. How we coming with this thing, sir?
Yeah, that's just me, man. Me talking from my heart. Me talking from past experiences. People know my work in film and television, but they don't really know, like, who I am. Or at least how I came to be.
Yeah.
Because, I'm in a different space now. So Street Journal Volume 1 is really like me talking about past experiences and how they affected me as a human being. And like journal entries,
I mean, speaking of journal entries, Future's Prayer.
Oh,
that's a journal entry in itself.
That's crazy. That's from Red Flags. That's my first little EP I put out to try to just like, just exercise, see how this thing works. Like,
talk to me about that though, man, because I mean, basically you coming from that conscience. I mean, that's a regular man's conscience right there. That song. That's how everybody's feeling. What was it that made you go in that studio and say, you know what, I'm gonna call this thing Future's Prayer, and I'm gonna give these folks hell?
That's funny. Future's Prayer came about because I was like, at the time I think Summer Walker had a song come out. No, not Summer. Was it Summer Walker? She had Sierra's Prayer.
Yeah.
And I just kind of thought to myself like, well, what's crazy is Future, when he did this interview back when he was promoting, I think it was DS2, Dirty Sprite 2, and he was kind of like saying how he was admiring Sierra. Like, it was funny because it was right after everybody was tripping on him.
Yeah,
and he was talking about he this, he that, and she was taking pictures with your boy and all that. And I don't know their personal business, but I know he hadn't spoke on the situation yet until DS2.
Okay.
And he did it, I don't even remember the interview, but I just remember him being very, like, they were trying to ask him, like, questions that were, like, disparaging to her character. And he kind of said some shit like, I don't know about waiting before marriage. We didn't do that. But he said, what we did do was we used to pray before sex, before and after sex or something like that. Yeah. And he said it with like kind of love in his heart. So I figured, like, what was that prayer like? And then what was that prayer like after she left? Because, like, what is that? What about when the world kind of vilifies you? Because we always just assume the female's in the right, which most of the time that's how it go. But what about when you just like, what are your real thoughts when you did right by a female,
Exactly.
And just what was future from his perspective, or from a person who's in that type of situation. So I just kind of like exercised that creatively, and it came out to kind of represent some of the situations I've been in, the men I know been in.
Come on now.
Where like, hey, look, what happens when you really love somebody and really gave it your all and it just didn't work?
Hey.
And maybe there were some things in her that wasn't all the way together. You heard about that shit too, because What about when you was doing right? And
Come
you
on
was
now.
like speaking life into that woman, and she maybe she wasn't all the way together, and then she dropped the ball. And what would that prayer look like to God? Just like she praying for the best version of a man. What if he praying for the best version of a woman? So I just kind of did it because it was like my first little thing.
Yeah,
and, It's funny because I was in the studio with Future when we made the Lil Baby song.
What?
And I fucked up because I didn't ask him to like.
Speak on it.
But
Ooh.
I might go back. I might have him go back and do it just for like volume 2 or something. Just
Come on now.
Have him remix it. That might be a great idea. Okay, High, you might get that.
I'm here for that, man. I'm here for that. But Mal, break this down to me though, man. How do you manage your personal life having all of this stuff going on at the same time too, man?
I don't know, man. It's like, you discipline, and above all else, and then secondly, I say like, you prioritize. You feel me? Like, you do sacrifice. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I've got it. Like, you know how people be like, oh, you can have it all. That's bullshit until you that nigga. Like, when you that nigga, you can have it all. When you surpass that threshold, as I'm sure you know, like when you grinding, you gotta sacrifice certain things. But when you reach that pinnacle, then you kind of can like, okay, my baby's coming with me, my family coming with me. I can afford to caravan everybody.
Exactly.
But right now, it's me making certain sacrifices so that we can have it in the long run. But I've been blessed enough to where, you know, I don't have to make the ones that kind of make that you can't repair from. Like you got to spend time with your mama, your grandma. You got to spend time with your family.
Exactly.
If you got a kid, you got to spend time with your kid.
Come on now.
And I've been blessed enough to figure it out for the most part up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I pray I get even more control of my schedule and personal life, because that's more important to me than any of this shit. I just really like making cool, dope shit, bro.
Exactly. I mean, when it comes to the music and it comes to the acting, though, which one is the one that you feel like you just really having the time of your life doing, though, Mal? Because you're acting your ass off, but based off of this music, you rapping and singing your ass off, too, so I don't know no more.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you, dog. It depends on the day.
Okay.
It depends on whatever's, you know, whatever is giving me the most creative freedom.
Yeah.
That's all I care about, is being able to create from my spirit, my whole soul, and being a vessel.
Exactly.
And if it service that, then I'm locked in.
Come on now.